So there's a financial movement going on at the moment related to the cost of living crisis here in the UK, but it is not something that anyone should consider joining. Here's why. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's Lewis back again with another video, and today I'm covering just what Don't Pay UK is and why joining it would be financial disaster and just might make your financial issues within this cost of living crisis even bigger than they already might be. So Don't Pay is a movement based on not paying the ever-increasing energy bills this coming winter, starting the 1st of October 2022, when the cap rises again. According to their website, when 1 million people pledge to say that they'll stop paying their energy bills by this day, Don't Pay will start the strike by forcing the government, Ofgem and energy companies to negotiate with them. This includes reversing the energy cap to April's 2021 levels, ending all prepayment meters and ensuring that no one goes cold this winter by introducing emergency private banding. Their claim is that, like the tax system, the richer you are, the more you should pay. Side note on that claim about rich people paying more taxes. In theory, that is absolutely true. In practice, it absolutely isn't. This is why ISAs and business expenses exist, but that is not within the scope of this video, so let's move on. So then what Don't Pay is about is completely sound, and I'm sure that everyone would agree with them when they say that something needs to be done. I am part of that group as well. However, striking by not paying your energy bills is not the way to go about this. It might strike you as obvious, but cancelling your direct debit or payments in general with your energy provider is going to cause you severe financial consequences, not only physically, but also financially, and with that, mentally. Quite honestly, the premise of what Don't Pay is doing is playing with people's emotions and their financial situations. Financially or in general, when you act on impulse and or emotion, it's never a good result. This is what I always talk about when it comes to investing, and this Don't Pay thing is no different. Before you sign up to this movement, purely based off of your anger over seeing your latest energy bill, take a step back, take a breath and truly ask yourself, is this going to really help me in the long term or cause me severe trouble? Now here are the facts. First, if you cancel your direct debit with your provider, you could be charged a fee for doing this. To find out how much this is or if it's anything, check your supplier's website or even better, your own contract. Additionally, direct debit is usually a cheaper payment option for when it comes to paying energy bills. Moving away from that could be much more expensive, as your supplier will simply charge you more on a monthly basis based on your usage. With direct debit, you can choose how much you pay within how much you can afford. You don't get that flexibility otherwise. This could then lead you to building up arrears, or in other words, a debt with your energy supplier, and let's be honest, they have a lot more power than you do, and they won't just go away and start talking to a movement group just because you're not paying your bills. Instead, you'll more than likely be moved onto a prepayment meter, or worse yet, they could just disconnect you. If this issue compounds further from you just simply not paying your bills month over month over month, then anything that you owe them could then be sought via the courts, and they could have bailiffs knocking on your door in extreme cases. Another fact is that not paying your energy bills could also seriously affect your credit rating. This will of course make it more difficult for your financial future, seriously impacting your ability to take out any loans, credit cards, or even a mortgage if you are ever in a position to hopefully one day do so. This is what you're putting into the hands of Don't Pay if you pledge to not pay your energy bills this coming winter. Your entire financial future. It's very possible that you'll no longer be able to control what your financial future is by simply handing over the keys to Don't Pay. Ask yourself if you can honestly afford your bills, or if it takes a few other sacrifices of non-essential things such as meal outs or day trips to be able to afford those bills. Is all of this really worth it? Is it really worth it not being able to be accepted for a credit card when you're in a much better financial situation in the future, or even worse, being rejected for a mortgage application a few years down the line? Defaults remain on credit profiles for up to 6 years. That means over half a decade of being told no or being rejected by the people in the financial world. Banks, credit providers, mortgage providers, you name it. All they will say to you is, "Oh, I'm really sorry that you've been rejected. Now, the reason why is because you pledged to don't pay in 2022 that you wouldn't pay your energy bills, and you got yourself into arrears with your energy company, and you've had a default on your profile for the last 6 years, so we still can't actually accept you for your mortgage. I'm really, really sorry, but yeah, sorry. Could you leave? The long and short of it is, don't let what is happening right now in the short term affect your long-term financial prospects. It is only you who should be able to control your financial future and not anyone else. Now, before Don't Pay jump on this video, or any of their disciples ever do, this isn't me saying that I'm on the side of energy companies or I'm being sympathetic towards Ofgem or some other nonsense like that. This isn't what this video is about. It is simply about making financial sense of the situation that we're in. Many movements throughout the history of time have come and gone. Some genuinely made positive change over the long term and made things better. Others flamed out because they caused more harm than good. The premise of Don't Pay is solid, and I agree with them. It's disgusting what we're being treated like in this country at the moment. Next to no one in Parliament cares about the single mother with 3 kids trying to make ends meet to keep food on the table and the lights on each and every month. They also don't care about the elderly man who's living on his own, trying to stay warm this year in order to basically not die from hypothermia or any other kind of illness related to the cold, which the elderly are at much more risk to. All they care about is themselves. They're all rich and Boris is effectively no longer in power. So why bother doing anything? There's no longer an incentive for him or his cronies around him to care. However, not paying your energy bills on purpose as a way to protest is not going to work out for you. The only people that it's going to work out for, ironically, is them. It's the massive billion-dollar corporations, energy companies, and members of parliament who support them more than us through this crisis. In my opinion, the only way of driving true change is through the power of voting. If you're as pissed off as the next person is, get out there at the next opportunity, locally and nationally, and vote those who you're angry at out. Look, I'm not here to get political. I'm not going to say what side of the fence that I'm on. I don't want to promote toxicity on this platform, but that is the long and short of it. Voting works. Simple. Whatever you do this winter, it's going to take some sacrifice, unfortunately. I, for one, will most definitely be prioritising paying my energy provider EDF in order to stay warm and keep the lights on over going out for a meal or something else that I can't afford if it ever comes to that. I've lived in a household of financial difficulty before. I've had defaults on my personal credit file before from stupid actions I took when I was much younger. When I was 18 years old, I took out a credit card and a SIM-only contract with O2. I used the SIM-only contract out abroad in Florida to call and text my friends back home, and I used the credit card to spend money on crap that I didn't need. I didn't pay any of those arrears off and they defaulted on my profile. I had no idea. Also, much more importantly, I've lived in a home before where bailiffs have been knocking on the door asking if my mum's about, knowing that they want to take away what's important to us in the home. I'm not ever going to go back to that again. Do the right thing for your finances and ensure that you don't either. If you're in trouble or think that you might be in trouble in the future with the constantly rising energy cap, then do the right thing and instead talk to those who can help, not hinder you. If debt is becoming overwhelming, reach out to Step Change, who can guide you through the storm by offering advice and comfort. Contact the Citizens Advice Bureau for even more help. And importantly, contact your energy provider directly, have an open dialogue with them, be honest and open if you can't afford your bills. It will be in their best interest as much as it will be in yours for them to make something work with you. The very last thing that these companies want is to constantly pay bailiffs and court cases to get people to pay their bills. It really is that simple. If all else fails, go to Ofgem directly or via a complaints tool such as Resolver in order to be heard if you have a problem with your provider, but only if you have an actual problem, such as if you're not getting the service that was sold to you when taking out your contract. Ofgem and Resolver are there for complaints, not to be a referee between you and your energy provider if you can't pay your bills. Look, at the end of the day, I'm very confident in saying that Don't Pay's strike isn't going to go ahead and they won't be in a position to negotiate with the big energy companies, Ofgem and the government, so don't put your faith in them. They say several times on their website that they will only strike if they get those strengthened numbers, and that number is 1 million people by the 1st of October. At the time of recording this video on 24th of August, only 113,528 people have pledged to strike on this date, and that's only what they claim. They still need over 885,000 more people to do the same thing in just over a month. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. As always, I really hope that you found this video helpful and useful, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments, and do consider subscribing if you already haven't. While you're here, grab some free money if you need it, and maybe even some free stocks if you want to start investing. All links down below in the description. And remember, until next time, truly mean this, every quid counts. See you soon.